Fine. And the last question on this paper, let me put away things that I'm no longer using, otherwise they make my work. They say, as the internal auditor, you are provided with the following actual figures for May 2014. With regard to each expense, explain what you would include in your internal auditor's report. Remember at the beginning I talked about budget variances. I talked about budget variance. I said budget variance is when you compare the budgeted or the planned with the actual. This is what I planned would happen. This is what I anticipated. This is what I forecasted. But then what really happened? And then they say, as an internal auditor, what are you going to say with regard to telephone, with regard to water and electricity, with regard to advertising? Right. This is the actual. Then you must go to your budget. What did you budget? For May, remember we said, for May, we budgeted 1,500. We paid 2,200. What will you say with regard to telephone? Telephone, we budgeted. For May, we budgeted 1,500. We paid only 1,000. We paid 2,200. We paid 2,200. So you see, we have exceeded our budget. Your comment will be not well controlled. I would say, as an internal auditor, not well controlled. Exceeded the budget by an amount of almost 700 rands. We exceeded the budget by 700 rands. What could have been the cause of this? What could have been the cause of this? Employees are probably using it for personal calls or personal reasons. That is what I would say if I was the internal auditor in this company. That we have exceeded the budget. We budgeted 1,500. We paid 2,200. Therefore, it was not controlled. We exceeded the budget by 700. That is what I will say as an internal auditor. And I will say the employees are misusing this telephone. But what about the water and electricity? Now I come to water and electricity. Water, electricity, for May, for May, I budgeted 3,000 rand. From my cash budget, I can see that for water, electricity, for May, I budgeted 3,000 rand. I say budgeted 3,000 rand. How much did I pay? I pay 1,900. Was it well controlled or not well controlled? We budgeted 3,000. We paid 1,900. I would say it was well controlled. It was well controlled. The budget was well controlled because we saved 1,100. It was well controlled because we saved 1,100. And then I will say that you must continue to, my comment will be, they say they must continue to implement whatever control measures that are in place. You must continue to implement whatever control measures that are in place. Then we have advertising. We have advertising. Advertising, we had planned to spend how much with advertising? In May is the amount that we calculated. I think, what was that amount that we found for advertising? From F, remember, here we are. We said advertising for May, we have planned to use, we have budgeted 4,000. But you'll use whatever amount that you have calculated. Even if it's a wrong amount, not the 4,000. Your reasoning must be aligned to the amount that you have there. We have budgeted 4,000. We have used or paid only 1,000. Before you can even start to think of whether, I know some of you would be quick to say we have saved 3,000, well controlled. But remember, advertising, what is the aim of advertising? Advertising, we want to promote sales. We want to increase our sales, right? Therefore, you must first go and compare the impact of your advertising or of your decision on your sales. Therefore, you go to your budgeted sales. You go to your sales. Your sales in April were 60,000. Can you see that? In May, they were increased to 80,000. In June, they were 90,000. You see here the increase is 20,000. The increase from May to June is only 10,000. Huh? What will you say there under advertising? Remember, I said your response may depend on the amount that you calculated. But because I had 4,000, I may say it was well controlled. It was well controlled because despite only spending, well controlled because despite only spending 1,000, sales increased by 25%. By 25%. So that might be my comment. But another person might say, if we had spent the whole 4,000, our sales may have increased further. You see, that is how you need to respond to this type of questions. I hope that I have addressed all your concerns, that I've covered all the... Like I said, this is a very easy topic, and you would be able to get marks easily on this question, provided that you have prepared well for it. Thank you, grade 12 learners. I'm sure that you are aware that today is the 10th of October. which means you are left with only 18 days before we sit for the accounting exams. And then I hope that you are busy with intensive revision, both at your schools and at home, so that we are able to make it at the end of the year. I wish you well with your preparations. We are going to have other presentations, revision going forward, and on other different topics. Good luck with your preparations and your exam. Thank you.